I'm pretty excited to make this for you. It's fried green tomatoes. This is a simple dish that is so delicious, and in summertime when the first batch of tomatoes comes in, this is the perfect thing to make. Okay, so I like to start with a cast iron skillet. Go ahead and get it turned on. And I think, let me see there. There we go. And I'm going to put a little canola oil in here. You can use any sort of oil that doesn't smoke up too quickly, okay? So you could use peanut oil, olive oil if you don't get it too hot too quickly. I use a mandolin. You don't have to have a mandolin. Don't go out and buy a mandolin. Green tomatoes, a little mayo because we're going to make a dip, some panko breadcrumbs. If you don't have panko breadcrumbs, don't go buy a panko's. Just use some cornmeal that you might have, okay? Just about a 1/4 cup of flour. I've got some jalapenos. We're going to put that in our dip. I've got some fresh dill. We're also going to put that in there as well. So those are all things that we're going to be using. So my pan is starting to heat up. Let's go ahead. I want to show you how the tomato, I cut them up. So this is the tomato. It is very firm because it's still green. I'm going to cut that stem out of there. Okay. So I'm going to use my mandolin. If you've never used a mandolin, you've got to be very careful with them. If you don't have one, just make sure when you slice it up, you slice them as thinly as you can. And really, it's up to you what thickness you want. However, you want to make them all the same as much as you can, okay? So, and on the mandolin, I'm very careful with the mandolin. I have a lot of respect for it. Okay, so I will use a knife and just go back and forth like this, okay? And that's easy. It can, whoops, start here. You just have to work it a little bit. Work it back and forth, and you can cut your tomato, okay? Whoops, that one cut in half. So they come with a little, if you've never used a mandolin, they come with a little tool here on the end, which I find cumbersome to use, so I just don't. All right, so let me show you how these look. See how these are all about the same thickness? Okay, that way they're a little easier to cook. So I've already pre-cut one. I've just got 2 tomatoes right here. We're going to cook them up. You need an egg, because we're going to start our tomatoes by dredging them through an egg. Okay, and let me grab a fork here. Just going to, stir it up a little bit on your plate. There we go. A little flour. And what I like to do is just dredge it through a very light coating of flour, and then panko. If you don't have panko, again, don't worry about it. Use cornmeal. Panko they're considered Japanese breadcrumbs. They're everywhere in your regular grocery store. Maybe you've got to look in the international aisle, something like that. That's where I found these, in the international aisle at Target. Okay, we're gonna make our dips in a minute. Let's go ahead and get this started. Okay, so my egg, I've got that ready to go. Let's put a little salt, a little pepper in our flour. That way we get salt right on the tomato pretty quickly, right? A couple pinches of kosher salt. All right, now we're ready to go. I'm gonna put that there. All right, first thing I like to do is just dust this both sides in flour, okay? Dust them both sides in some flour, and then we're gonna dredge it in the egg. 2, 3, 4. It is messy, makes a mess. 5, and you might need a little bit more flour, it just depends. This is probably about 1/4 cup per tomato of flour when you get started. All right, so let's dredge it just a little bit. There we go. Our egg in there, and then the panko. Again, it makes a mess. But it's worth it. Okay. Lightly floured, dredge it, then panko. This is sort of a southern dish, I guess. I don't think of it that way. I just think of it as it being a delicious dish and something that's just fun to make this time of year because it's very good. It's kind of unique, especially if you're having friends over that haven't had it. This is just something that is very tasty, and you can try it out. All right, let me wipe my hands just a minute here, and let's go ahead. I can smell this already getting hot, so I'm going to go ahead and start laying them in. All right. It only takes a couple of minutes to cook these up. In the meantime, wipe my hands off again. I'm going to need just a little bit more panko in this. So I mostly just eyeball it. I would say throughout this process, you're probably going to need half cup of panko or breadcrumbs, whatever you have. Not breadcrumbs, cornmeal. So after this is floured, I'm just dredging it through that. Once again, there go my pankos. Okay, like that. Oops. Now we go to our panko. All right, got an oven ready. While that's cooking up, let me bring in the dip that we're gonna make. We're gonna make 2 dips for this, and these are very tasty and very easy to make, okay? So you need about a 1/4 cup of sour cream. Let's make a dill dip first. Okay, this is fresh dill I got at the farmer's market. One nice thing about where I live close to downtown Minneapolis, and the summer farmer's market is amazing. And as a matter of fact, the farmer's market is closer to me than any grocery store. So on Saturday morning, you can find me there, you know, grabbing some things, getting ready for the day. So this is about a teaspoon, maybe a teaspoon and a half. And I'm just going to put it right in there. A little salt, pepper, and let's give it a whirl. I think this might need a little lemon juice to kind of loosen up the sour cream a little bit. It's also going to give it just a little bit of zip, okay? So I'm going to just slice a little bit of lemon off here and give it a squeeze. Make sure we don't get any seeds in there. There we go. Stir it up just a little bit more. Oh, that looks good. How's that? All right, take a look at that. Looks pretty good, right? All right, there we go. Let me give it one little taste. Just see. Yeah, it's really just right. The lemon is in there nicely. You can just barely taste it. I'm going to flip these. These have been cooking just a couple of minutes. Okay. Flip them carefully because you want to keep the breadcrumb on both sides as much as you can. And these are looking great already. Let me grab a plate. This, because these are going to be done in no time. My second dip I'm going to make is this one. And this is just a jalapeno dip, okay? So these are diced jalapenos. Once again, a 1/4 cup of sour cream. In that, I'm going to put just a little bit of mayo. You don't need a lot, just a little bit. All right. A little salt, little pepper. A little salt. A little grind of pepper. All right. Nice. Okay, that's looking good. Now, a paper towel, because I think our tomatoes are done. Let's give them a look here. See? Oh man, you're gonna love it. You're gonna love it. Look at this. All right, we're gonna put them there, and I like to go ahead and salt these things immediately. Okay, just to get them going a little bit, like that. All right. So this is gonna be super hot, but let me just show you how they look. Okay. Aren't those pretty? So nice. And you have to be careful. I had a hot spot. I've got a hot spot on my skillet. You can see that one got too hot. I'm going to keep cooking these up here, but let's go ahead and give this a taste so you guys can kind of see how they taste, okay? So I'm going to take a knife. Let me grab a knife, and I'm going to take this one, and I'm just going to split down the middle. It's super hot right now, okay? So, ooh, hot, 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 hot. Okay, let's just take a little bit of that and put it on there. That's my dill, and this one is my jalapeno. Let's see which one is the best. Okay, hot, 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 hot. Okay, so you can make these anytime, really, but this is the best time of year. You know, it's summertime, and the tomatoes are right out of the garden. It's before they've turned red, and oh yeah, hot, hot. That sour cream, that dill, a little squirt of lemon juice, really tasty. Let's take a bite of this one. This is the jalapeno one. Both so good. The jalapeno really has a kick to it, which is really nice. I hope you give these a try because they are so good. And I think you're going to love it. All right. Fried green tomatoes. Delicious. Enjoy. Subscribe to this. Let me know what you think about these.